Once upon a time, in a kingdom hugged by emerald forests and flowing rivers, there lived a princess. She was admired by all for her beauty, her laughter, and her kindness. Yet behind the sparkling eyes and graceful smile, she carried a quiet sorrow, a longing to be more than human, more than ordinary, perfect. Every night she would sit by her mirror and whisper,
I wish I were flawless, perfect in every way, so no one could ever look down on me, and no one could ever leave me.
but wishes sometimes come with a price. One night, as the moon rose high and silvered the palace gardens, a voice stirred in her dreams.
Be careful of what you ask for. Some wishes are stronger than you imagine.
The princess, lost in her longing, did not listen. At dawn, she awoke, and the world had changed. Her legs were now covered in smooth, glimmering scales. Her arms had curled into soft, coiled patterns, and when she tried to speak, only a faint, sorrowful hiss escaped her lips. The mirror reflected not a princess, but a snake. Tears filled her eyes. What has happened to me?" she whispered silently. No answer came, except the echo of her own sorrow. The king and queen rushed to her side.
Darling, what has happened?
The queen cried, her hands trembling. The princess could only stare, her eyes glistening with tears. "I am still your daughter," she tried to say, but no words came. Fear filled the court's hearts. Some gasped, others whispered. The princess, once adored, was now feared. The king, torn between love and fear, made a difficult decision.
My daughter, you must stay within palace walls until the ways accept you.
The princess curled into a corner of her chamber, her heart heavy with loneliness. She missed the simple things, laughter with friends, the sound of her own voice, the warmth of the sun on her skin. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. No one came near her except the servants, who brought food with careful hands. The princess wandered through the palace gardens at night, under the stars, hoping that someone, anyone, could see the soul inside her, not the scales on her body. She remembered the voice in her dream. Perhaps some wishes were never meant to come true. One evening, as rain fell softly over the palace gates, a traveler arrived. He was humble, not a prince, not rich, not handsome by the world's eyes. But when he saw her eyes, filled with sorrow and longing, he felt a pull in his heart. He spoke gently.
I have heard of a princess trapped by her own wish. I do not come to judge you, I only wish to understand.
The princess recoiled at first, afraid of the world, but something in his voice was different. No fear, no disgust, only kindness. Slowly, cautiously, she slithered forward. She lowered her head, and for the first time in months, she felt seen. The traveler spent days with her, speaking softly, laughing quietly, telling stories of the forests, the stars, and the rivers, and though she could not speak back, she listened. Her heart began to heal. For the first time, she realized perhaps her worth was not in her face or her voice, but in her heart, her courage, and her kindness. One night, under a sky filled with shooting stars, the traveler whispered,
I do not see a snake, see you. a princess brave and true, more beautiful than any in the kingdom.
And as he spoke, something magical stirred. Her scales shimmered, not as a curse, but as a mark of her uniqueness. Her heart glowed with hope, with acceptance, with love. Word spread through the kingdom of the traveler and the snake princess. At first, people were afraid, but slowly, curiosity overcame fear. Villagers came, not to mock, but to see the princess, and they discovered her kindness, her wisdom, and her gentle heart. The king and queen, once fearful, realized they had been blinded by appearances. They embraced their daughter, understanding at last that true beauty lives in courage, honesty, and love, not in the mirror's reflection. The snake princess became a legend, not of fear, not of curses, but of transformation. She learned that happiness is not granted by perfection, but by acceptance. Not by being seen as flawless, but by being loved for who you truly are. And in the end, she did not become human again, but she became stronger, braver, freer, and her heart shone brighter than any crown in the kingdom.